Welcome, this is the IM2 video lecture on the review sheet for Unit 2, Polynomial Operation. Here I will be covering Part 2, which is going to be the second page of the review sheet, which starts at number 10 on top, which is finding the perimeter of this figure. What is the perimeter of this figure? Please understand that this figure here is a rectangle. And we know that a rectangle has a length and a width. What is the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle? Well, we know that perimeter of a rectangle is twice the length plus twice the width. Now we can just make that substitution. 2 parentheses n minus 6 plus 2 parentheses 2n plus 4. Now we can distribute. 2 times n becomes 2n. Then we have 2 times negative 6, which is negative 12. Now we could do it to the second term. 2 times 2n gets you a 4n, and 2 times 4 gets you an 8. Are there any like terms we can combine? Yes, we have our 2n plus 4n. Then we're going to add our negative 12 plus 8. I just decided to put this in the parentheses so you can see how I'm combining the like terms. So the answer here would just become 6n. Negative 12 plus 8 would be negative 4. Good job. Alright, just let you know, sometimes you might not see this step and you can just see the final answer like this. What about B? Well, this is a square. This is a square and we want to find the perimeter of a square, which is just 4 of the side here being x minus 6. So the perimeter is equal to 4 parentheses x minus 6. Let's distribute the 4 inside, gets us 4x. Then distribute the 4 to the negative 6, gets you a negative 24. So the perimeter of this square is 4x minus 2. Notice the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle is different from the formula of the perimeter of a square. Let's look at finding the area now. Number 10, this is the area of a rectangle. And we know the area of a rectangle is equal to the length, which can be this one, times the width, which is right here. Let's take a look. The length, 2x minus 2 times the w, which is x plus 8. Wow, this is a multiplication, so we have to distribute. 2 times x gets you 2x squared. 2x times 8 gets you 16x. Then we have negative 2 times x gets us negative 2x. Negative 2 times 8 is negative 16. Are there any like terms? Yes, 16x minus 2x gets us 14x. Bring everything else down. You get the final answer. The area is equal to 2x squared times 14x minus 16. B. Well, B is a square. So we are going to look for the area of a square, which is just your side squared. This is your side right here. Remember, side square is just side times the side. So let's simplify this. This is n plus 5 times n plus 5. Let's distribute. N times n gets you n squared. We have n times 5 gets us 5n. Then we have our 5 times n gets you 5n on bottom. 5 times 5 gets you 25. Wow, that is super interesting. these two are like terms. You get 10n here, bring everything else down, n squared plus 10n plus 25. This is the area of this square. I want you now to take a look at both A and B. The area of these two figures are actually uses the same formula. If A, you use length times width, you would still get the same answer because the length and the width are actually the same for a square. So the area of a rectangle and the area of a square are the same if you use the length times width formula. That works for both a rectangle and a square. Let's look at 10. We're only just practicing our distributive property. What is 2x times x? That gets us 2x squared. Why? Because 2x times 2x times x. Remember, the exponents here add. Next, 2x times 5 just gets us 10x. Good. Now, let's take a look at the second one. Wow, we have to distribute this in. Well, that's the same thing as asking 2xy times x. Okay, you have 2. How many x's do you have? 2 of them, so it is an x squared, and then you have a y. So notice there are x here and an x here. This is why this one is equal to 2x squared y. Let's look at C. Wow, we have to distribute this in. Let's do that on the side because it's a big complex term. 5x squared y cubed times x is equal to what? Well, how many x's do you have here? Well, you have a number 5 first. How many x's do you see here? We have an x squared and you have an x here. So together they make x cubed. Then you have a y cubed. So the first one would be 5x cubed y cubed. Then we can distribute this into the -4. It gets us -20 x squared y cubed. Okay, so this is like the previous problem. Ooh, I forgot to do the y part here. I'm sorry. So distribute this here over 2xy times y. So 2x, there's only one x. How many y's do you see? 2 of them. So this is 2xy squared. All right. Good. Let's go to C. And then we are going to go to D here. This time it's a negative. All right. Little bit more. It's the same thing. We're just going to distribute these. So it is equivalent of writing 5x squared times y cubed times -2x cubed y. Well, 5 times 2 gets us -10. How many x's do you see here? Well, we see x squared and x cubed. Together, they make x5, or x to the 5th power. Then we have y cubed and a y here. Please understand, this is y to the power 1. So this y cubed and y1 makes you a y4. All right, there you go. That is how you do that one. Good. Right? That is just multiplying like that. This time, they're binomials, so we have to FOIL. You're already used to this because this is like finding the area of a rectangle. So x times x gets you x squared. X times -4 gets you -4x. Let's do the bottom. 5 times x gets you 5x. 5 times -4 gets you a -20. Are there any like terms? Yes, the -4 and the 5x. Together, they become 1x. Do we ever write the 1? No. So we can just write this as just x. Bring everything else down, you have an x squared. And this is an addition, minus 20. Let's look at our next problem. Let's distribute once again. X times x gets you an x squared. X times 4 gets you 4x. Negative 6 times x gets you negative 6x. Negative 6 times 4 gets you negative 24. Are there any like terms? Yes. The 4x and the negative 6x. This gets you negative 2x. Yes. So 4x minus 6x gets you negative 2x. Good. Bring everything else down. You get an x squared minus 2x minus 24. And this is our last one. Let's just distribute. 2x times x gets you 2x squared. 2x times 2 gets you 4x. Then you have the bottom. 5 times x gets you 5x. 5 times 2 gets you 10. Are there any like terms? Yes, it would be these two down here. And that becomes 9x. Bring everything else down. 2x squared plus 9x plus 10. All right, great job if you got all three of those. Then lastly, we have our 12. Not lastly, these are our special ones. But again, we can just do it. If you want to apply your special rules, it's perfectly fine. But we're just going to do it old school. X times x gets you x squared. X times 4 gets you 4x. Let's do the bottom. 4 times x gets you 4x. And 4 times 4 gets you 16. Are there any like terms? Yes, 4x and 4x. This gets you 8x. Bring everything else down. X squared plus 8x plus 16. This is when they're the same. Of course, we have an 8 here and the square term, which is 16. Let's do B. Same thing here. Let's just distribute it and do it the long way. X times x gets you x squared. X times negative 5 gets you negative 5x. Let's distribute the bottom. Negative 5 times x gets you negative 5x. Negative 5 times negative 5 gets you a positive 25. Are there any like terms? Yes. Negative 5x plus negative 5x gets you negative 10x. Bring down x squared and bring down the 25. So the answer here is x squared minus 10x plus 25. What about 6? Well, same thing here. Let's just distribute once again. Well, x times x gets you x squared. X times negative 6 gets you negative 6x. Let's distribute the bottom. 6 times x gets you 6x. 6 times negative 6 gets you a negative 36. All right. Are there any like terms? Well, these two. Yes, these two together make 0. 0x. Negative 6 plus 6 gets you 0. Do we ever write 0x? No. We just make it just disappears. So our final answer is x squared minus 36. Why? This is a difference. One's an add 6, one's a minus 6. It's going to disappear. The only thing left is x squared minus 36. Let's take a look here. Wow. What about 13 and A and B? Haven't we seen these numbers before? Yes, we did. Look, this is what your x squared was. Interesting. So let's just write this out. Well, we know that this is x plus 4 squared. So it's really x plus 4 times x plus 4. And here we have our minus 5. But we know what x plus 4 times x plus 4 was. It was right here. We had it right here. So all I'm going to do is bring it down right here. Okay? I'm not going to show you this step, right? Because that's what it becomes from our previous problem. All we do is bring down our minus 5. Good. So what are you left with? Well, we know that these two are like terms. 16 minus 5 gets you 11. Everything else is the same. So what is your final answer? Your final answer is x squared plus 8x plus 11. Okay, Same thing from before. Let's take a look at b. Well, let's just expand this out. X minus 5 times x minus 5 minus 2. That's what x minus 5 squared means. Wait, we know what that means. We have this right here. This was what x minus 5 times x minus 5 was. So let's bring it down right here. We know that it can be simplified into this term of x squared minus 10x plus 25. But we have to make sure we bring down the subtract 2. Wow, these two are like terms. So what can we do? Well, 25 minus 2 is 23. Bring everything else down. X squared minus 10x. And there you go. That is your final answer. I just got to make sure I write an add right here. There you go. So rather than do it the long way, I noticed that 13's problem was like 12's problem. Okay, they're connected in some way. The only difference was there was an addition constant term here that we had to combine. But there you go. That is page 2 of your review sheet.